Okay, so how to fill out a check. Somebody please read for me. Cody.
So then your check number
Hold on. How to fill out a check. You got how to keep track of your checks. Sorry. Look at the top. It says how to fill out a check.
Write your name at the top.
Okay. Checks have spaces for you to fill in when you use them. Write your name at the top. And if you noticed on my checks, whenever you get checks from the bank, they actually already have your names. But if you open up your checkbook and go to your very first check, yours does not. It has a space for name. So you are going to write your name right there.
Last name.
Yes. No, it does not.
Last name first.
Yes, please. Okay, what is the next thing that we would do? Lydia?
Note the check number.
Okay, note the check number. And on your example, it says 01. So let's go ahead and put that in our example too. And if you remember on my checks, the check numbers are already on there. Okay, the next part says, Josh?
Include the check
Oh,
date.
hold on, the third one.
Oh. In the top description line.
Check filling out date.
Fill the date January 10th.
Okay, but we're going to use today's date, which is
30th.
November 30th, 2010. And you don't have to write it out?
11.
So, sorry, thank you, 2011. So we'll write 11/30/11. All right, Nick, you want to read the next one for us?
Right. Literally write out the name of the person / business your name.
Okay.
Mrs. Smith.
On the check it says Mrs. Smith, but what you are going to do is you are going to write a check to the person to your right. You're going to write $10 for that poster that you made. Okay? So the person to your right, that is who you write, pay to the order of. Yep, you go to Jeff. Yes. So you write to Dauber Burton. You don't have to write it in cursive. A lot of people do, because then it can't be changed. Why do we write it in pen? So it can't be erased. Very good. So we write down who we're paying, and I'm going to pay my check to you. Tom Burke. Mine is going to Mr. Burke. The next part says, what is our next thing we are going to do? Shauna?
Write out the amount you're paying in numbers.
In numbers. Okay, so this box right here, this is where you write the amount in numbers. So we are going to write in, how much is this for? $10. $10. You want to remember to write on the left-hand side as close as you can. You don't want to leave a space. Why don't you want to leave a space then? They could put more money then. If I started my one right here, somebody could have put a 5 in front of it. So then my check would be for $510 instead of $10, right? So we want to make sure to do it as far to the left as you can. Yes, sir? Okay, the next part, Robert, what is that after we write out the numbers? Okay, so now spell out the amount you are paying written out in words. If you see under the box, it says dollars. So under that, written out in words, we would say 10 and 00 out of 100 because there's no change. Okay, now Cody asked why people draw that line there. People draw that line there again so that people can't write in there. Oh. So if you were to write a check for $10.37, how would you write it out? Yes.
Instead of putting the 2 zeros in the box, and then write there for the years. I love it.
Very good. What if your check was for $157?
So if you wanted to preserve it, you put the 100.
This part is just for change. Change, you can write in numbers. The dollar amount, you write out in words. So if it was for $5,722, you would write that out. FIVECHOUSAND. Write it all out. No, this is, how many pennies are there in a dollar? You're thinking minutes in an hour. There are 100 pennies in a dollar, and we are paying 0, 0, so there's zero change. So if it was 37 cents, it would be 37 cents out of the dollar. That's why you do that. Yes. Okay. What does the next part say, Jackie? After we write out in words. Okay, include your signature. Your signature goes right here on this line. See it?
Yeah.
Is there check for being cursive?
You have to write it right open. So, this is where you're going to sign. Cursive D, like this. B? Oh, lowercase? Sorry. Okay. Man, you all are out of elementary for 1 year and you can't write cursive?
Look at that, look how neat that is.
Okay. After that, what does it say?
Account.
It's the second to last one, Alex?
Note or make a note what are you paying for?
Okay, so this is the memo line, and this is telling you, this is just reminding you what you are paying for, because now that they have electronic banking, they can scan these checks and put it on the internet. So every time I write a check, if I'm on the internet and I'm checking my statements, and I see that I wrote a check for $10, and I say to myself, oh, I don't remember writing this check, what was it for? I can click on it, it'll pull up the check, and if I wrote something in my memo, then I'll be, oh, okay, that's what it was for, and I can remember. So what is this, what are we writing on our memo line? Poster.
Oh, you'll put extension to the city?
You don't have to fill out the memo, it's just if you want to remind yourself. I always fill it out because I'm very forgetful, and because although I'm teaching you guys this, I'm not very good at filling out my checkbook registers. I need to start practicing when I teach more. Be sure to include your account number. You'll be given this number prior to your visit to Exchange City. We don't have account numbers yet, so Dauber, you are, right now, you are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10.
You put 05, right?
Then you check it out, you're right.
Where are you supposed to put 05?
Your check number and over.
Oh, you can put 05, that's fine. Okay, so,
I have a question, sir.
yes, sir?
What do we do on the back?
We're going to discuss that in just a second. Okay, so, what do we have to do when we fill out a check again? So the first thing we're going to do,
Put a name on it.
write your name on it. And then,
Date.
date it.
Number.
No,
No.
Check number, and then we date it, and then what?
we write it to the person or business you're
Who it's going to, and then
dollar plate, or how much per day.
how much in numbers, and then how much written out, and then
Your signature.
sign it, and then your memo. And you all are awesome. Okay, so rip out your check now and give it to the person that you wrote it to.
This is the second check I've ever got. When I worked for the
No? Yeah. Okay.
That's like my.
Now that you all have received some money, we need to put it in the bank, right? Okay, so what you have to do before you can go to the bank, you can't just take this to the bank and say, oh hey, I want it to go in. They need to know whose account you're putting it into. If you look in the back of your checks, you have deposit tickets. This is what you would use, hang on just a second, Chris. This is what you would use to deposit your checks. No, look in the back of your check. Oh, your deposit ticket. Now, I don't have an example to show you guys how to use your deposit ticket, but we will go through it together.
Start on the first one.
Okay? Yeah, go ahead and start on the first one because these would be ripped out and handed to the bank teller. So whenever you go to Exchange City, whenever you receive your first check, you will take your check, take your checkbook, go to the bank, you will fill out your deposit ticket. And the way this goes is you write your name.
We have to.
You know that? Nope, you can write this in print, that's fine. First and last name.
Their full first name.
You can just put Nick, you don't have to put Nicholas. Yes, sir.
I did cancel a check.
We'll talk about that in just a second. Yep. Okay. And then put your account number, the account number that we just told you guys you had. Because you have to know your account number to put the money into your bank.
So the account number I just got, you don't have that.
Well, your real account number, whenever you get a real bank, or it'll be longer than that. Okay. Yes, sir.
Maybe like 037.
Right now.
So it'd be like,
What's your account number? Probably always right closest to the left. Okay.
Will it be like?
All right. Go ahead and write the date. Today's date, 11/30/11. Yes, sir.
Alright, wouldn't it be like, how many would it be like 7?
Mine is 6 for my account,
So
but yours may not be that long.
Probably like 3.
Okay. Now, if you look, hey, up here, on the side, your deposit says, the first part says cash, it says currency and coin. So if I were to give you guys cash to deposit, then that's where you would write it. So if I handed you a $20 bill, $20.37, I give you $20.37, then under currency, what is the difference between currency and coin? Currency is bills, yes, and coin are change. Okay, so under currency, if I gave you $20, you would write $20. Now you see this dark line that goes through here?
Yeah.
That's like your decimal point. And you see that there are decimal points there. So that separates your dollars from your cents.
So would you write like the second one?
Well, you're not writing it because I'm not actually giving you cash. I'm just telling you. It's okay. Don't worry about it. Not right now. Not yet. I'm just talking to you. Okay. After that, you see that it says list checks singly. The way you do this is that you write the check number. So under where it says list checks singly, that means you list checks one at a time. So if you had to deposit more than one check, then you would write different check numbers. So on the line under there, you would write your check number on the check that was written to you. What does it say? 01, okay? Write that there. And the amount that it is written for.
would you write
Yep.
closest to the left?
No, on this one you want to write by the decimal point. You see where the dark line is? Okay, so you would write on the same line. There you go. 1, 0, 0, 0. Very good. 0, 1. Like if you were to write right here, you wrote your check number 0, 1.
Oh, okay, check.
And then here you would write 1. Well, that's cash, so we're not worried about that right now. Well, you don't have to write zeros there, because you're just handing this to the bank teller with your check. Okay, you hand this with your check. So, down at the bottom, it says total. So, we only have one check to put in there, so we total it up, $10.
When would you have like that many put in?
After you graduate from high school, and people will probably give you money, and you'll have a bunch of different checks. And at that time, you would have to write a bunch of different check numbers.
How many can you do a check for?
Hmm?
I don't think you do. How many can you do it?
You can do as many as there is space on here, and actual deposit slips, there's
Yeah.
lists for more on the back, but these don't have it. Yes, Cody? Your parents can co-sign with you, so you could have one now. Okay, now, less cash received, this means you're depositing $10, but if you wanted $5 in cash just to have because you're going to a basketball game later, then if you wanted to take out money, that's where you would put that. So since you have this check, I'm putting in $10, but I want $5 back, you would put $5 there, and then you would just subtract. But we're not going to take that money out, so for less cash received, you would write 0. Very good.
Anywhere?
Right next to where it says less cash received, you can put 0.00. That's fine. And then your net deposit, the way you figure that out is you take your total minus your less cash received. Very good. $10.
Like that?
Yes, sir. You got it. If you were to get cash, you would have to sign. It says signature required for cash received, but since you all aren't taking cash out, you don't have to sign. Okay. Now, you have your check. You need to endorse it. What does that mean? Sign it. If you flip your check over, on the back of your check, it says endorse here. So on one of those lines, you would sign your name. In cursive, yes. Sign it in cursive. As soon as you sign this check, then you are able to deposit this or cash this. It is important that you keep track of your checks because if a check was written to me and I signed for it, and then I lost the check, anybody could go and take that check and say, oh yeah, I'm Ashton Smith, I'd like to deposit this money, right? So you need to beware and keep track of your checks. Well, if they don't check your ID, then they could.
What if you're a boy?
I've read a boy named Ashton.
Oh,
What if there was one named like
Oh, don't worry about it. Okay, so everybody sign. Notice how it says do not write, stamp, or sign below this line. Reserved for financial institution use. What the banks do is the banks will stamp under there to show that they received it and then it's being deposited. Okay, so you got your money, you filled out your deposit slip, you endorse the back of your check. Now flip over your how-to go to how to keep track of your checks. Okay.
now I go all the way to the front of the check?
Yes, all the way to the front of your check. You can tear out your deposit slip.
Oh, okay.
Because you would have to hand that and your check to the bank teller.
Can you stay them together?
They probably prefer you not. Yes, sir? Yes. Okay. How to keep track of your checks. Checkbook registers have spaces for you to fill out when you use them. First one, Cody Deerking. Go ahead.
So what is your check number? Number 01.
Okay, so the check number is the check number that is on your check that was written to you.
This is number 2.
Yes, on the top line.
That was check number 2.
No, the check number that is written to you. You're depositing the check that somebody gave you. Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Go ahead and go to the first.
Go right here.
Go to the first line, the white line. And we are going to write under number 01. That was the check number of the check that was written to you. Everybody's check number is written number 1. No, that's his account number. See, your check number? Yes, your check number. Okay, so we have 01. The next one says include the check date. So the check date on there is
11/11.
11:30.
Is that all you put is 11:30?
Yeah.
Oh, I put 11:30.
You can, that's fine.
I could.
Okay.
I could.
Include, or in the top description line, write down to the paid to the order of. So, oops, sorry, we're writing down the check that we got. So what you are going to do is you are going to write deposit. And I made a mistake because whenever you're depositing checks, you don't have to write down the check number. That's for whenever you,
Description?
that's for whenever you write a check. But actually, you all wrote a check too, didn't you?
Yeah.
So we should write down.
So we should write down, let's write down the check that we wrote first, so you don't have to scribble anything out. Okay, so in description, who did you write the check to?
Chris.
Okay, so on the top line,
Put their name.
but in all reality, at the top where it says balance, the very top up here, the gray spot, I want you to write $10.
Where?
At the very top up here where it says balance. Yep, write $10. Because you had to have money to start your account.
Gray or?
Right here.
No, hey, don't.
See where I said?
What zero?
Very good. And this is like your decimal point, so write 0, 0 after that. Okay? Got it? All right. Now, so we wrote our check to somebody. In the bottom description line, the darker line, include a description from the check's memo. So this was for poster. Okay, was this a payment or deposit? It was a payment. Very good. So how much did